Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Not too sure what happened there. We could start again. Okay, sweet. Yeah, sorry about the silent movie. Yeah, so basically been watching Bitcoin dump. Some liquidity taken here on the hourly, like zooming in to what we just saw. Pretty unpleasant PA. This whole head and shoulders structure basically confirmed. On the RSI, we're not quite oversold yet. So this looks like not quite a bull div, but some reasonable buyback here. We don't want to go into this purple box is what we're trying to avoid. I've been saying it for a while. We don't want to test this level again like we did over here. And I think I think a lot of people are aware of that. Bulls need to defend this, and it looks like they might be. Fingers crossed, quite a lot of volume coming in here. We need to reclaim this level. So yeah, just zooming out, what I was saying that nobody heard, just trying to explain the logic here. On the daily, we had this nuke on the 5th. We reclaimed the support level here, 57K, tested it, went up from there, and then just had this horrible retrace. We don't want to go in this purple box again. I don't think this level holds, just because this whole consolidation / downtrend has a bad history of levels not holding for a second time. So, we made this low here, didn't hold. Another low here, didn't hold. Lower low again. Lower low again. Another lower low. We've reclaimed and tested. We should have gone up from there. To test this again, I think fails. It's not going to be good. And if this fails, this is going to fail, because we've made this low already, and all this time since March the 21st, we've been making lower lows. So I don't expect this to hold either. So we really want to stay out of this purple box into monthly close, even after, whenever, it doesn't matter. If this fails, this almost certainly will fail. I think 70% chance, which means there's a big air gap of support here, down to basically 43, anything from 43 to 40K. So yeah, hopefully we don't get that. Just looking at this liquidation map here. So this is basically like an order book display of a liquidation heat map. This orange stuff is liquidation levels, where people have set their stops for longs. Most of that liquidity just got taken on that last dump. It looks to me like there's way more liquidity to the upside now, shorts to liquidate. So I don't know if we take these. I suspect not. This looks like pretty low liquidity. Maybe a couple of little spikes. Let's look at the heat map. For Bitcoin, this is on Binance. This is quite a high volume. It's not aggregated, but it is on Binance. So yeah, you can see all this liquidity just got taken. There's just this little bar down here at 57.8. Ideally, we don't go down there. Stops set below this wick here. So hopefully we stay away from there. And then just looking, yeah, I need to reclaim 60,770. Yeah, for sure. That's right, Kat. Especially for monthly close, which I talked about when I was on mute, which doesn't help, obviously. So yeah, let's just close that and get rid of that. Yeah, just to see these monthly closes here, basically what the market's been doing, what you can imply from these monthly closes is that we've taken the monthly high from last cycle, and all these monthly closes either closed at that point or above it, which basically means you flipped last cycle's highs into support. Now, currently with this monthly, that is not the case. So for the sake of consolidation and consistency, and to not go lower, ideally you want to save this monthly and get above 60K, 61K even, 6,800, whatever. between 60 and 61, you want to be above there, in my opinion, to keep this pattern alive. Yeah, and then the ETH monthly is pretty ugly. Just looks like a failed rally back to all-time highs, rounding top. Massive red body on this bearish candle. Could lead to some downside momentum, especially if you look at the weekly, which looks super ugly. Just like a really weak head and shoulders, where the second shoulder didn't even really form properly. Chat through this level here, the neckline wicked up, but then basically this neckline became resistance, and we've come all the way down here again. Next bit of support is really at about 2.1, but it's a small shelf, 2.2, and then major support at like 1900. So yeah, not looking pretty. And then just the same liquidation map for ETH. I guess a bunch of liquidity just got taken in the dump. Most liquidity, look, there's like a lot of juicy liquidity here sitting at like 2,500. Hopefully market makers will send us up a bit to go and, could even get a little short squeeze out of that. Let's look at the liquidation map. These have become a bit of a meme. Everyone seems to be posting the heat maps, but I'm going to look at it anyway because I don't care. 3-day one. Actually, let's zoom out a bit, seeing as the monthly close is upon us and we're in a high time frame kind of mood. Yeah, there's not a lot to infer from this. Most liquidity is up here. Oh, this is Bitcoin. We need ETH. Dummy. There we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of liquidity here. No great checks. And a little bit over here. Nothing major. Yeah, and then Solana also looking shit. This is a bearish engulfing weekly candle. Solana's had this ongoing battle on the Ichimoku cloud to stay out of the cloud. Once you enter the cloud, there's a good chance, and you get a close inside the cloud, weekly close, obviously being a high time frame close, then you have basically a strong chance to make a trip to the other end of the cloud, which is pretty low down. It's at $70. We had some like $70 bear charts a few months back, and then everyone laughed afterwards. Haha, those idiots were posting $70 targets. Well, I think you might see some more in the near future if we get a weekly close inside here. We already tested the Kujira, which is a nice retest for a trend reset. But ideally, after you do that, you want to continue to the upside, which we haven't had follow through, mostly due to BTC price action, I guess. But we had a nice rally last week. Same with Bitcoin, and then just shut the bed afterwards immediately. So one would hope we can stay out of the cloud again, and if we move up, then this Kujira will come out of the cloud, and that's when you really have a bullish setup. Once this is the Tenkan, should be above the Kujira, which it is. But if they're both out of the cloud, that's a great setup. And price is above the Tenkan, the blue line. That's the kind of perfect Ichimoku setup. Oh yeah, and then this is just the SOL market cap chart, which is obviously higher than the price chart because of emissions, because of SOL inflation. So it's been stronger than price. It's made new cycle highs, which price hasn't. Last cycle, price topped at 240. This cycle, 210. But the structure still looks like super shit. Despite the strength that we have shown, we basically double topped, come down, bounced, dead catted, and this is a massively bearish weekly candle that we're looking at here. Sorry, this is the weekly chart, not monthly chart, obviously. Monthly, not quite as bad, but still pretty ugly. Yeah, and then just PopCat, quick look at that. that looked better earlier today. It was on this range top. Was testing the old range top. We had a chance to turn that around, but with this new dump on majors, not looking good. If we close the daily inside here, we're probably coming back down here. This is the way things go with a range. Yeah, I mean, just a 50% retrace on last week, but so not the worst chart, but also a bit shit that we have come below this old range top. Kind of wanted to stay inside here with a chance to go back up here. Yeah, at least the RSI is still in a decent place, so still some, you know, hopium for the Popcat chart. ARB, which I'm long and probably underwater now. Good times. It's starting to look ugly as well. It looked really good a very short time ago. I mean, it's such a PvP, not even PvP, PvE environment at the moment, which I talked about earlier. When you get this, you know, Bitcoin weekly chart, look at this beautiful weekly candle followed by this shit. It basically, it means you're in a trendless environment, so you can't really rely on usual candlestick patterns and that kind of thing, because market makers are basically hunting liquidity. So, you know, it's an ongoing stop hunt. The fewer skilled, all the skilled market participants tend to leave the room. Only idiots like me and maybe some of you are left. And basically, market makers are just hunting stops. They're chasing any liquidity because that's their job, to find liquidity, to create buys and sells, which earn fees for the people that they work for. So, yeah, not a great environment to be taking leverage trades in. But what you would hope is that, and what will happen inevitably, is that open interest will come down the more this kind of PA persists. Leverage will leave the market, and that will leave you in a good place once it is time to make new highs. It'll give you a solid reset, basically, for a new run on Bitcoin, which you can see on CoinEyes if you look at long, short accounts and funding and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I see that Bitcoin funding flipped green, and that's probably why we got this big nuke. People started piling into longs again, funding's green. That's when you get punished. Yeah, it's not a great environment to be trading in. But we have had quite a few negative funding days, which is a testimony to the level of short interest and also to the lack of long interest, basically. You know, longs get paid when nobody wants to go long. So in a way, in terms of the market turning around eventually, that's kind of a good thing. You can see we had it back here when we had this horrible, painful, long sideways action exactly a year ago, August 23, all the way through September into October, and then we pumped out of October. Maybe the same shit's going to happen now. Just a quick look at, I want to see what the long short ratio is, because I have a little bit of a fetish for that. On the daily, it's too high. Yeah, this needs to come back. So people are still opening longs into these dumps and getting washed out, getting punished, basically. It's not great. When you see this kind of huge rise in longs, long accounts, people going long into these dumps, yeah, it doesn't give you a lot of hope for this to turn around in the next few days, unfortunately. Cool. Where are we at? We looked at Popcat, looked at ARB. So ARB, kind of been some beautiful setups here with the 4-hour. You can see how when this 4-hour is oversold, RSI is sub 30. You get these wicks to the downside, makes a local bottom. And then you get this 10-20 MA cross, a couple of them in the chop here, but when you have a rounding bottom and out of that, you get this cross, it gives you a nice, good long entry. Same deal here, oversold, long entry, oversold, some downwards chop, and then rounding bottom, long entry. That, you know, that was a beautiful long all the way from 93 all the way up to 137. We had one over here, but it's just been invalidated with this recent dump. So that kind of ruins my whole thesis. Yeah, hopefully we get some buyback on this 4-hour candle and it will recross. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then BNB was also looking pretty good earlier today, but now it's pushing on this range bottom again. So this daily chart was in the newsletter recently. AP House. Yeah, best to do nothing. Yeah, watch from the sidelines. So yeah, this BNB chart was in the newsletter, I want to say a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, because we had this nice wick to the downside. A lot of liquidity got taken into this high time frame support over here at 400, which to me, when we reclaimed this range over here, the old range at 530, 525, seemed like a good long entry, which it was. It gave us long all the way from 525 up to 600. The squiggles played out, it's come back down again. Earlier today, it looked like it was turning around to, you know, to go up here. There's significant liquidity up here. This is the liquidation heat map for BNB. This is that liquidity sitting up at the 615 level. You would think market makers, if they have the momentum they need to get up here, they're going to chase this liquidity. So I don't know. Let's see how long this dump lasts, how serious it gets. But hopefully we hold this level at 525. And then I think we will make a trip up here, hopefully. At least to 610, 15, maybe 640 before we test here again and go up again. Because there's liquidity up there as well, up at this 730 level. Not a huge amount, but some. Up here, because this is the high, and you know there'll be liquidity resting up at that high. Yeah, so that's BNB and Aave. Oh yeah, and the layer 0 looked really strong earlier as well. Looked like it was flipping this level into support, pushing on the top of the VWAP, the value area high over here. Nice to see it above the VWAP and above the point of control, but if we make a lower high here, then that's not great. I was hoping we would move up again today. Let's see. With this Bitcoin price action, it might not happen. Yeah, and then there's liquidity up here for layer 0 at this 525 level, which you can see with the volume profile. There's a level up here, high volume node, with liquidity resting above it at 525. I actually drew this before I looked at the heat map, and when I did it, validated it, which was pretty cool. But we need to get above this level, this 460 level, which I don't know if we will today. But super strong relative strength shown by layer 0. Super bullish on it long term. The weekly, like strong buyback on the weekly. Pretty new chart with the monthly similar. It's printing a hammer almost. Maybe this goes a bit higher, but good buyback on the monthly. And then this is cloud. I'm not too sure. This is a liquid staking on Solana. Not too clued up on the fundamentals. Just obviously strong chart, just pumped out of nowhere. I don't know if this is news based. Grant and Jerry talked about it on Shitcoin Church yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Huge volume coming through. I haven't bought this level because it's kind of pumped. This is, and it's full screen so we can see what's going on. So yeah, obviously this is a level up here where we've rejected. And if we turn on the VWAP, I don't know if any of you guys own this thing. This and kerosene are doing super well. Yeah, so there's the VWAP there. I don't know, maybe we come down here to 20. I mean, it depends a lot on what Bitcoin does, but this could be a good buy level if Bitcoin doesn't go to new lows. Bitcoin can not shit the bed for, another couple of days. And we get a retrace down here. This could be a good entry. Maybe even back to the VWAP if we get a big nuke on Bitcoin. So I don't have a bag of this, but I need to look into it more, and maybe I will get one. Do we have kerosene here? That is MOG, which we'll look at in a minute. Let's get kerosene up. Oh, that is not kerosene. That is some meme. Kerosene's still having a good day by the looks of things. Well, not hugely good, but looks kind of toppy. But then it looked toppy here too and kept going. So yeah, this thing's done super well. Massive weekly candles. That buy zone is toast. So there's an obvious level there. I mean, if Bitcoin really shits the bed, I mean, you don't want to see it come down to 7 cents. It's at 29 here. This could be a good entry. This would be like a 30-40% pullback. VWAP's down here at 16. Potentially you get that. There's a little shelf down there. So yeah, anything from here down to here, I'll buy more of this thing. I've still got a bag. Guys are giving me a hard time on Discord the other day because I took some profit on this thing, but got to take initials out and a little bit of profits when you're up like 3x in this kind of market. So yeah, the RSI looks like, doesn't look great. It looks like it's running out of momentum. So maybe we do get a big pullback because it's making pretty clear lower highs, which is your bear div. Let's see what happens. Lots of volume though. Everyone wants to own this thing. Go and watch Grant's video if you haven't. It's basically a decentralized stablecoin protocol, CDP-based stablecoins. Pretty interesting system, which I think, if I'm not being an idiot, it's basically designed to give you almost 100% collateralized loans. But yeah, I'm not a fundamentals guy. Go and watch Grant's video or read the article. There's an article as well on the website. Yeah, MOG. So MOG's on high time frame supports. It's lost this trend line, which it's lost before and reclaimed. So I don't know. Let's see what happens, but it looks a bit iffy here. Good entry if you want to long it. You need big balls though in this market because close below here basically invalidates the long. You don't want to see it close below this level. What is this? 8636. Pretty oversold. And I don't think MOG's going away for the rest of the cycle. Yeah, but if Bitcoin capitulates down to, stupid levels like 43K, then you'll be able to get this thing a lot cheaper. But as I say, good invalidation over here. It's sitting right on high time frame supports. Let's see what the defense is like. Not a huge low volume coming in yet, but this is on Uniswap. Maybe most of the volume is shifted to Bybit or wherever else it's listed. Let's have a look actually. I won't see it. I'll be on trading view. Oh yeah, and then this is just comp, but let's look at MOG. Is MOG on Bybit? BitGet, Bybit, there it is. Looks kind of ugly. I mean, it's reversed at this level on the RSI before, so some hopium there if you're a MOG bag holder. Let's get rid of this. When was this? On the 16th? This is the big Bitcoin dump on the 5th of August. We reversed down here. On the 16th, we reversed here. So, you know, this is a standard RSI reversal level for MOG. And then double bottomed. So, local low over here as well. So, let's see what happens this time around. Oh yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to look at comp. I was long comp because of this beautiful weekly setup that has been largely not invalidated, just not doing much in this kind of market. Yeah, so you had these downtrends that you pumped out of, grinded out of, pumped. Broke this one here, but you have this massive volume node here of resistance. I really wanted to clear this, and at that point I would have been, you know, hopeful that we had made a trip up here. So this should be a log chart, and then that trend line makes sense. So you have this, you know, very consistent, clean reversal point at this trend line, and the target would have been 130 if we could just get above this level. So, you know, hope's still alive that we can do it. Let's see what happens when Bitcoin stops shitting the bed. So yeah, this is a request. Someone's saying Bitcoin's about to lose a level. Let's have a look. Jedi, yeah. Yeah, this looks shitty. This is pretty ugly. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't want to be in this purple box. Let's see. So yeah, this is just a request I had in Discord to look at this guy. This looks pretty strong. I have no idea what this is. OGPU, GPU, some kind of maybe deepen project, I'm guessing. Rent a GPU with your crypto along the lines of IO.net. I don't know. So yeah, it's at resistance here. This is, you know, high time frame resistance. Flip that and it will look pretty decent. Let's just see if I get some more resolution going. So yeah, there's some support here at 72 and resistance at 81. So you kind of sandwich between the two. You've got the VWAP here, which is acting as support for now. Looks pretty strong regardless of what Bitcoin's doing. So that's interesting. Maybe it's just a low liquidity thing. It looks like you have plenty of volume over here back in May, June. Yeah, I mean, long sideways consolidation, but it's been making all these high lows, which looks pretty good. You can draw a little trend line there. That it's being compressed, and it's going to pop, hopefully, to the upside soon if it keeps making these high lows. And if it can withstand this kind of Bitcoin price action, then, you know, it's a good chance that it will claim this level at 80 cents. Yeah. Cool. That's pretty much all I've got for today. Unless you guys want to look at something. If BTC goes up 1K from here, 100 million in liquidations. Yeah, let's hope so. Where's that liquidation map? Let's see what it looks like now. Here it is. Let's look at this guy. I prefer this thing somewhere. Yeah, a lot of this liquidity has been taken. There's a little bit here at 57,800. I'm not really comfortable that's going down there, especially if we need to go down here like 57,300. That's really your last chance saloon. Yeah. Cool, guys. Whiff. Okay, let's have a look at Whiff. Index screener. To be old school. Who's got the most liquidity? Oh, okay, I guess we need to do the CFI, do the centralized exchange thing. Yeah, this is charting this on Binance, super ugly. I mean, when we lost this, the bottom of this range again, for me, that was kind of when I kind of lost hopium for Whiff in the medium term. I mean, we're down at 140, the highs were 480. Yeah, it looks ugly. I don't know what to tell you. We made a higher high here, but only just. This whole like endless head and shoulder structure is like super ugly. I mean, someone's been kind of trying to defend it. I don't know if Ansem still owns this thing. I would assume not. What happened to the Sphere money? Did that ever get figured out? I mean, that Sphere was always going to be like, that was always going to be the top anyway. I mean, that would have been the worst thing. If someone had put that thing on this thing on the Sphere over here, it would have been down only immediately. I mean, that's the perfect top signal. But anyway, looks like the duck kind of killed this thing. This was a really promising recovery up to this mid-range here. There's the viewer. Give me all the VWAP. VWAP's all the way up here, 242. Yeah, so this is big ash resistance over here at 160. Where you've just rejected from. It looks like a short, to be honest. Let me look at RSI. Yeah, there's still some juice in this short, so this can come much lower. Yeah, I don't know how much lower, but you know, I would wait for RSI to be at sub 30 before I closed. So, you know, you could still short this, which I think I'm probably going to do now. All right, so the cash is still somewhere in escrow, I assume. I don't know. Who cares? None of it's mine. You have to be an idiot to give people money to put a meme on a Sphere. Cool, guys. Gonna leave it there and catch up with you on Monday. Hopefully we're not living in a tent under a bypass by then.